bait out there, folks, in 20 feet of water. That's what the alewives look like. And we're going to be looking around here today. It's December 3rd today. And we're out here fishing for stripers and hybrid stripers. Here's a whole bunch of bait. So what we've been finding is that the stripers are not in with the bait. They are near it. They're adjacent to it, but they're not right in with it. And here you can see there's a ton of bait on the bottom. Get a little closer shot of this. We're in about 27 feet, 28 feet nearly, and you can see all that bait down there. So there's plenty of food nearby. We're gonna start here and just work our way down. The whole key for us is to find out what depth the stripers are in. Once we find that, we're gonna catch them. More bait there. There was one behind the boat in 24 feet. We'll see if we can catch him. Be right where he is. Try and show you what that looks like too, folks. There's a bald eagle, folks, right over here. I don't know if you can see him or not. He's going to come into the camera range, I think, in a minute. Bald eagle right there. Oh, there's some, folks. 26 feet, we see some out here. These fish are right where everyone, right in front of everyone, and nobody knows they're here. Amazing. Getting hits, folks. Just didn't hook them yet. They're here. Got one. Oh, he came off again. They're down here, folks. They're getting hit, but they're hitting it funny. Can't seem to get them hooked up. See if there's another one with him. He felt that one. That one felt the hook. Might want a slower fall. Got him. Got him. This one hit good. And I see him on the finder, so it makes sense. We're out here in 23 feet. Coming up fast. He's just a baby. Just a baby. But even a little guy is cool. They're so much fun, folks. So much fun. Let's get this guy in the boat. There we go. There we go. All right, settle down, settle down. He's got a face full of hooks. There he is, folks. Our first one today. But there's going to be more, I can tell you that. Let's get some more. That was number one. Let's see if we can get 5 of them out here. It's, see what time it is. We came here very late. We didn't get here till 2:30. It's a little after 3 right now. So I think it's like 5 after 3. We'll have about an hour and 20 minutes or so to really light them up. And this is the best time of the day, or at least it's been, from my point of view. See if we can't get another one out here now. They're here. We're seeing a few here interspersed on the graph. I still want to show you what that looks like. When I was here with Glenn Burrell on Friday, when we first got here, the graph looked like lasagna. There were piles of fish schools, you know, the fish were stacked on top of one another, and every time we threw into that, we got bit. Every single time. Here comes a boat. We really don't want to show this place off too much if we can avoid it. Keep it to ourselves if we can, folks. They're getting aggressive. And late in the day, they get aggressive, and that blade bait, they like it. But for you people who don't hunt, or even for you folks who do hunt, don't ignore this time of year. We're in early December. The water temperature is 46.2 degrees. Yep, 46.2. And what that means is the fish are grouping up, but they're feeding a lot. They're feeding heavily. And they're, you know, the fishing form now becomes more vertical. They're grouped. So I'm just pitching this thing short pitch from the boat and vertically jigging it back to the boat. And oftentimes I get the bite right at the boat. But when you find them, and this is where electronics come in, you find them, and you're probably going to get them. And so we've been on them out here for a couple of weeks now. Could be one of the best times of year to fish when you find the fish. The fishing becomes vertical, like we said, but you're vertically fishing over larger groups of fish, and it could be really good. Had another hit. Clocked it. It must be swiping at it. Got another one. Another hit. They're swiping it. Missed one on the way down. The first fall he smacked it. They're hitting it, I'm just not hooking them. Okay, here's some on the graph now that we can show you. So here you can see, there's one right there. There's one below it. There'll be more. They're here. It's a matter of time before I hook another one. They're not quite smack eating it fully. I'm not sure why. There's something I'm not doing quite right. Here's a bunch now out down here. Ah, dang it. Throw the spoon at them and see what I can do with the spoon. We'll see if we can spoon a few of these boys. A couple of them behind us here. See if they want the spoon. Sometimes I think the bigger ones like the spoon more than the blade. Here's some more. They're down here. There's one. Ooh, I got him. He wanted the spoon. We'll just keep throwing the spoon now. He hates the spoon good. So they're moody fish. Sometimes they want the blade and sometimes they want the spoon. Coming up in a hurry with this heavy spoon. Could get off. Another little guy. But I got him. He is. I'm seeing them on the graph. They're out here. Some of these are right on the bottom. Some of them are up from the bottom a little bit. Every now and then they'll hit it before it even gets to the bottom. Feed this thing out there and see what I can do. Got him. Oh, he came off. Gotta tighten the drag a little bit on this. Definitely a spoon bite out here, folks. I sharpened the hook this morning. It was dull from all the other fish I got on it the other day. Guy some line, get him to the bottom. See if we can't get another one here. Get this school excited. Seeing more out here too. A little deeper, 24 feet, 24 and a half. There's one. Ooh, this is a better one. Nah, I think he's another little guy. We'll see in a minute. Now he's bigger. I think. Shaking his head a lot. There he goes. Yeah, this is a better one. Pulling some drag. So we got a spoon bite going out here. I'd like to see that. Oh, I see him down there. Yeah, he's bigger. This one's going to require the net. Yeah, he's not a giant. Nah, he's not that big. Nicer than what we've been getting. And we did come out a little deeper. Maybe the bigger ones are a little deeper. Certainly keep that in mind. Oop, there he goes. This one's a fighter, I'll say that for him. He does not want to quit. No, he's not ready yet. Oh, you don't like the boat. Got him. I got him. Alright, he's the biggest one so far today. Boy, did he want the spoon. Popped out. Good, good, good. Yeah, best one so far, but they're going to get bigger than this, I hope. We'll see. That's all right. We'll get them. We'll get back in them. When we do, it'll be lights out. I wouldn't doubt that a little later today they start eating that blade bait better again. We'll keep playing with that. See if they. I can't get them on this spoon, I'll go back to that blade, but those last couple, they were all over the spoon. Yeah, just had a bump there, I think. He might come back, we'll see. There he is. Yeah, they're wanting the spoon. This one's going to town here. Fish are strong. Even in 46-degree water, they are strong. He's not even a big one. Boy, he's a fighter. I think I'm just gonna try and grab this guy here. Yeah, just let him in. My definition of fun, folks, when you can come out here and start calling your shots with these hybrids. See if we can get another one. We're in the kill zone. Back to the blade. Bunch down here, folks, in 23 feet. Unfortunately, people watching it. This was on the blade. Little guy. One of those just came out and fell. I just put another one in his face, though. Come here, you. Hybrid, folks. Little guy, though. Gotta get the bigger ones. This is what I'm looking for right here. Those are hybrids, and they're good ones. Let's get a few. Huh. Why not? Try something different here. This will be interesting, folks. Got him. Yep, they like that too, folks. Well, that's good to know. Kind of pulled the Tamiki rig on him. He smacked it good. I have no idea how big this one is. Take longer to bring them in with this stuff. About the same as the others. It'll be easier to grab. Single hook. Right in the top of the map, right where he's supposed to be. Hold still. Hold still, please. Alright. I got you. Yeah, he's got some girth to him. You wanted that little jig? That's not a bad one at all. I'll take those all day. I'll take those all day. Oh, you might have to play with this jig a little more, maybe throw a bigger one out here. Yeah, there's more where that came from. You saw it on the finder. That's what I caught. That's where they were. I was just pitching right there. Let it go to the bottom. Jigged it up and down a few times. He's all over it. There's more out here. We're gonna get another one in a minute, hopefully. Oh yeah, there's a bunch on the bottom here. Very similar to what I just showed you. Some look bigger than others. There he is. I think this is an effective technique, folks. Oh, there's a ton of fish out here. I need to put the marker buoy on. This guy's going to town. I need to throw a marker buoy down, and there's a boat coming by. I don't want to do it with him coming by. This guy's coming up to the surface. Catching back up on him. Just a little one. Just pulled hard. Folks. Go a little bigger. Let's see what happens. Let's get them. Let's get them, folks. I'm not sure where they went. Got turned around a little bit. There was a bunch of them out here. Let's see if they want white. There's a couple out here yet on the bottom, I see. White one out here a little bit and see what we can come up with. I don't know, just trying some different stuff. Might be too bright for him. Nope, it's not too bright for him, folks. Whoa, 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 whoa. Little guy, it's the day of the little ones today. not bad. Well, we'll keep going that a while. Hey Bass Fanatics, Fish Den 365 here. I'd like to share with you now the lures that I was using on my outing for those hybrid stripers. I actually used 4 different lures to catch those fish. I had to kind of rotate through them. The fish were a bit moody that day. One lure would work for a little bit and then the bite would turn off on that. And I found myself trying different lures in order to catch the fish. So the first lure that I was throwing was a Bass Pro Shops laser blade. This was the color I was throwing. This was the exact bait I was throwing. And at first, they were swiping at it. Sometimes stripers have a tendency to bump the bait with the sides of their mouth. They'll come in and they'll just swipe at it. And I can feel that, but I was having a difficult time hooking them. And then finally, I did hook one on the blade bait. And then I thought, well, maybe this blade bait will start to turn on and we'll start catching more. But I kept getting the same effect where I was getting hits but couldn't hook them. Before we go any further, it's really, really important that your hooks are razor sharp. They have to be extremely sharp in order to catch these fish. Sometimes, we're vertically fishing now, so there's a period of time where your bait's falling where you may not be in direct contact with it. And so any little bite, any little hit, when you go and pull back up, it's extremely important that those hooks are sharp. So in the next week or two, I'll be doing 2 more videos. The very next video, I'll be talking about Christmas shopping list for the Bass Fanatic in your life. I will then be producing a video about how to sharpen hooks of all different shapes and sizes. So stay tuned for that. That'll be coming within the next probably 10 days or so. So when that blade bait died, I then went to this lure. This is a spoon. This is made by Blade Runner. It's called a Blade Runner spoon. I have a little split ring on the end of it here, and I just put a snap on it. That just helps eliminate or minimize line twist. And then I have a little tail feather on here that's the tail's pretty much beat up. It's been worn off the bait. They work just as well without a tail feather. I just like to have that on there just to give it a little bit of a better effect, a little more like a bait fish effect. I think what happened then is I started throwing this, and they were eating this pretty good. I got three in a row on it. I lost one too. And then the bite on this seemed to die. I couldn't get him to go back onto this. So at that point in time, I went back to the blade bait. I caught one on the blade bait, and then I couldn't catch any more on the blade bait. So then I decided to try something different, and I went to a tiny jig. This is a jig head. This is a tungsten jig head with a Kitech Easy Shiner. Kitech Easy Shiner is 3 inches long, and the color of this Easy Shiner is bluegill flash. That's a good color. I like it. And so I started throwing this out there, and I caught 2 on this. And then I wanted to see if I can catch a bigger fish on a bigger profile, something similar to this. So then I went to another Kitech bait, a Swing Impact Fat on a jig head. And I was throwing white. Now this one's been dipped a little bit in chartreuse, but the one I had was pure white. And I was curious to see if they would eat that white bait, and they did. I did catch one on it, and then the bite shut off. So the last 2 times we were out there, around 4 o'clock or a little after 4 o'clock, the bite just shut down. Those fish were still out there. We could see them on the graph, but we could not get them to bite these type of lures. So that was what I was using to catch the fish. You saw how I was approaching the water, looking at my electronics. The electronics are very important. I don't have very expensive electronics today. I'd like to get better electronics. I had a Lowrance, Elite Series Lowrance. All it had was down scanning. It doesn't have side scanning, but that down scan told me everything I needed to know when I was over those fish. And it's very important to have it. On this boat, I just have Eagle 320s. They're old fish finders, but they work very well. They still tell me what's on the bottom. They still tell me the depth, and they still show me the bait and the fish and how the fish are relating to the bait. So I know I have friends still today, that think that electronics, that there's nothing to them, that they don't work. But if you have the electronics set up right, they're absolutely critical, especially for this kind of fishing when we're getting into winter now and the fish start grouping up and the presentation becomes more vertical. You have to have something to be able to find them down there, and it just gives you so much more confidence when you know those fish are below you and your electronics tell you that. That down scanning is very nice. It shows things almost as if they're a picture, like it'll show
fallen trees very well. It shows bridges, abutments that are underwater, this kind of thing very well. So I really like the down scan. Down the road, I plan on getting side scanning and some better models. They're expensive, and I'm a frugal fisherman, so I make do with what I have. Eventually, I'll be getting something a little bit better. And that's what we were doing that day, taking a look at our electronics, finding the bait fish, finding the stripers, how they're relating to the bait fish, and then just dropping these baits down with short pitches. A lot of the fish came right under the boat. Some of them came a little bit further out from the boat, but we were just pitching our baits a short distance away and working them back to the boat, and that seemed to be what was working best for us, both on when Glenn and I were out on Friday, and then when I was out again on Sunday, December 3rd. And I have gone out one time since. It was Wednesday, December 6th. I'm going to be combining that video with the Christmas list video for the Bass Fanatic in Your Life, and we'll combine those two and just give you an update on what we found on that day. That day was different than the preceding couple days, and it was kind of an interesting thing. So looking forward to showing that to you too. If you like this video, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I'd like to keep going with these videos and keep bringing them to you. If you have any suggestions, or if there's anything you're interested in, any questions that you have, feel free to comment on the bottom. Just comment what you'd like to see me do next on videos. I'd be happy to put different videos together. It's all about the art and science and education regarding bass fishing. May God bless your fishing.